Hey everyone, I know it's been a while and I've majorly fallen off, but hopefully I'm officially back after this. I know I said I was going to stop making update videos, but here we are again because I feel bad about leaving for so long and I want to explain to my 3 active followers why I've been gone. I thought about just making a community post explaining this, but there are quite a few reasons I haven't been uploading, and I figured it'd be easier to explain them in video form. Plus, nobody reads my community posts anyway. They usually go unnoticed or just get ignored, so currently it's easier for me to update people over video. One of these days, I'm gonna delete all these update videos, and then half my channel will be gone, but until then I'll probably continue making them every time I have to disappear for several months, which I hopefully won't have to keep doing. With that all being said, let's get on to the update. So if you don't know, literally a few days after I finished this expose video on iDubbbz, I got hired working full-time at a grocery store. It was nice because I had been looking for a job for a while, and I was also running out of money. I literally had like a couple $100 left in my account when I started this new job. It took a lot of getting used to, especially because my social anxiety was at an all-time high because of all the trauma I've had this past year, but I did eventually get used to it. It was kind of frustrating though, because I was finally feeling happy with my upload schedule, and then I started working full-time and it threw everything off. I used to hear stories all the time about people who worked full-time and still had enough time to work on YouTube videos, so I thought I could manage it, but it turns out I could not. It also doesn't help I live a little over 10 minutes away from work and have to take an hour lunch every day instead of the usual 30 minutes. Since it's only an hour lunch, it's not enough time to go home and work on anything, which means I usually just eat in my car or walk down to a nearby park down the road and eat there. I also have to work incredibly early and generally have to get up around 5:45 every morning to get ready and get to work by 7. This means I cannot stay up late to record while everyone is asleep like I used to do, and I have to find time in the middle of the day and just ask people not to interrupt my videos. On top of all that, I just don't have time after work to make videos. After doing the stretches I'm supposed to do, practicing guitar and piano, eating dinner, etc., I usually end up with less than an hour a day to work on videos, which means I usually don't even try because I don't have enough time to really accomplish anything. If all I was doing outside of work was making videos, I'd have plenty of time to work on them. But unfortunately, making videos is one of my lowest priorities because I've got a lot more important things I have to do first. Another big problem I'm having with making videos is that my job culture really sucks, to say the least. And it's way more stressful than it needs to be, which means I often come home feeling too stressed to do anything. I probably should have looked at the job reviews before I accepted it, because man, it really sucks sometimes. I'll give a few stories to explain what I mean. First of all, the coworker I have to work with the most, since we share a cooler, is extremely negative, has a full-out victim complex, and can be very hard to be around and or predict. He's not that bad when he's in a good mood, but that's usually only when he's on hella drugs or his depraved actually talks to a woman. He wasn't that bad when I first started the job and was actually kind of funny, but as his health issues like severe diabetes have gotten worse, he's gotten a lot harder to be around. At one point in October, that coworker ended up getting too stressed out over our case slot sale that the store was preparing for, and ended up in the hospital for 2 weeks, all while I had to do his job. I couldn't handle the stress of that and ended up getting really sick and missing like 4 days because of that. During that time, I would literally come home and fall asleep because I was so exhausted from the day. After he got out of the hospital though, things seemed like they were going back to normal, and I felt like I was finally getting a good schedule in place and finding the time I needed to work on videos. Then, in early November, I get a warning saying I have 20 out of 25 possible attendance points for being late/missing work. Keep in mind, you get fired at 26 points, and I never got a single warning before this. So this obviously gave me a hell of a lot of anxiety. Unfortunately, there is no way to check why you have points, so I had to go talk to management over the phone about it. Turns out most of the points came from a few scattered days where I was in a hurry and ended up being exactly 5 minutes late. I was never any later than this, as I heard from a coworker that there was a 5-minute leeway, and as long as you showed up within the 5 minutes, you would be fine. That was apparently a lie though, because it was actually a 4-minute leeway, and since I had clocked in 1 minute after, I got a ton of points and didn't get warned about it until I was about to be fired. I went in the next day and tried to talk to the manager there at the time about it to see if I could get some of the points removed, since I genuinely didn't know clocking in 5 minutes late was a problem. Since it was his last day though, he did not give a shit and just told me I'd be fine if I started showing up on time and that what I was doing looked very unprofessional. So at this point, I was like, screw it. I'm actually going to quit. I am tired of this, and it's unfair not to warn me for something until I'm about to be fired. Since removing the points seemed like it was out of the question, I told him I wanted to put in my 2 weeks. but he told me I'd have to talk to one of the other managers since it was his last day. An hour or so after that, the new manager who was taking over for him showed up, and I went to talk to her about it and tell her I wanted to quit. She asked if it was about the points and then said she would remove the points for being late as well as remove a lot of the points for being sick, which was really nice and meant I could continue working there a little longer. Things got slightly better again for a couple weeks after that, but then the girl who works Frozen decided to quit, and management didn't want to hire anyone new, so they told me and my coworker with diabetes to work Frozen and just see how it goes. This obviously didn't work well, and we both fell behind in our departments trying to run a third one. I also ended up doing most of the work in Frozen while he complained about it, because he often struggles to get his own department done, and I usually have to help him out with that. Needless to say, after a few weeks of working Frozen on top of my department, I had had enough and decided I was going to quit. I told 2 people I was planning to quit in the end of December, and then the rumor quickly spread through the whole store, and before long, even the management knew I wanted to quit. They talked to me about it and told me I didn't have to worry about Frozen if it was stressing me out that much, which meant it hardly ever got done after that, because nobody else wanted to work Frozen, but it was nice not to have to worry about it much anymore, although they still made me help out from time to time. No one was really sure what was going to happen with Frozen after this. I heard rumors they were going to hire someone, then I heard people saying they had one of our old workers coming back in to throw Frozen, which didn't happen very often, and so it continued to get worse. That's when they decided, instead of hiring someone new, they were going to put all the responsibility of the Frozen department onto one of my coworkers from Night Crew who already had other responsibilities. Needless to say, the store was very much falling behind, and it got to the point that the other day, one of the head managers of multiple stores came in with a crew of people in order to throw freight because our shelves were so empty, and they were tired of fighting with the low-level management to get anything done. While that was happening, my coworker with diabetes ended up going to the hospital again. Not for diabetes this time, but because he was angry and was having painkiller withdrawals. Since he disappeared for a week without notifying anyone, he managed to collect 24 points and was on the verge of being fired after being here for 5 years. Pretty much everyone expected him to either quit or be fired, but I guess he just has major plot armor, or complained too much to management because they ended up erasing all but 4 of his points. Which sucks, because that means I still have to work with him. We also had some fire inspectors come into our store to make sure it was safe enough to operate without risk of fire, and we failed that inspection badly. So badly, in fact, that we were told if we don't get our issues fixed within the next 30 days, our store will probably be shut down. My managers can't pay for a lot of the things that need to be fixed either, so unless corporate jumps in to help, we're all screwed and going to be out of a job soon. There's also a lot of crazy drama that happens at the store constantly. The fact I have to work with one of the most dramatic people here only makes that drama worse. There are so many stories I could share about the work drama that has happened here, but I'll probably save that for a work drama video in the future. I will say though, if you saw my community post about almost getting shot and stabbed, it's not much of an exaggeration. A couple weeks ago, my dramatic coworker accidentally dropped a few gallon jugs of milk on the ground, and it stressed him out so much he decided to go get super high during lunch. Now, I wouldn't care about this, except that when he came back, he started playing with his knife super recklessly a few feet away from me, and I was kind of trapped in a corner and couldn't get out. Thankfully, I didn't get stabbed or anything, but it was a scary experience and just made me want to quit my job even more. I also almost got shot the other day while eating lunch at a nearby park. I was eating lunch at the tables outside when, out of nowhere, I heard 2 loud gunshots that sounded like they were right next to me. I didn't see anyone, but I left right after that just to be safe. There wasn't any yelling either, it was just a peaceful day, and then suddenly 2 gunshots came out of nowhere, and all the dogs in the neighborhood start going wild. Also, more recently, on January 20th, that coworker who almost stabbed me chucked a sharp piece of wood at me out of nowhere, which didn't hit me or anything, but it came pretty close. I had a nearby coworker who saw it happen, and needless to say, they are very concerned about my safety right now. I can't say I feel any different, which is why I put in a 3-week notice that night, and I will be officially quitting on the 10th of February. Until I get out of this job, I don't know how many videos I'll be able to get out, but I will do my best with how much I'm dealing with. Currently though, I'm just trying to not die, if that makes sense. Also, side note, unsurprisingly, being at this job has triggered my bipolar episodes again, which has also contributed to the lack of videos, as bipolar makes it way harder to start or finish anything. I've been looking for other jobs since December, so I would have a solid reason to quit, but I unfortunately haven't found anything as of yet. There was one job I was really hoping I'd get as a greenhouse manager of another store, but they had me take a survey thing to see if I would fit the job, and I guess I failed that, because they haven't called me back, and they said they were going to do that like 3 weeks ago. The survey had some of the most bizarre questions I've ever seen though. Like there was a double-edged question asking, do you agree or disagree? I used to steal stuff from stores I work at, but that is behind me now, where no matter how I answer, it's still going to get me in trouble. Another double-edged question was, do you agree or disagree? I experiment with drugs, but it does not affect my work performance. How do you even answer that? There was also a lot of stupid questions that were purely personal opinion or very extreme, like, do you agree or disagree? A manager who is super good at their job and has been at the company for a while should be punished for spending a few extra minutes at lunch. Like, why? If they are a good worker and have been there for a while, who cares if they spend an extra 3 to 4 minutes at lunch? Arguably, one of the worst questions, though, was, do you agree or disagree? Employees who steal from the store should be publicly ostracized. Like, no, what the is wrong with you? I realize it's just stupid corporate, but still, at least with most job surveys, it's clear what they want you to answer. This one was just a game of, guess what's gonna make corporate mad? And it's like, no, I don't wanna play that game. Just tell me the expectations up front, and I'll try to follow them. You don't have to be passive-aggressive about it. I've applied to a few other jobs as well, but I haven't heard back from most of them, and the few I have heard back from told me I didn't get it. I'm still looking for new jobs, especially part-time ones, since it'll make it easier to work on videos, but chances are I'll be out of a job soon. By the time I quit, I'll have a little less than $8,000 saved up for college, so if worst comes to worst, I can still go back to college with that money. It would get me through a little over 1 semester, which isn't too bad for working for the past 7 months, at least in this economy. But I hope I can find something else soon. From mid-February till I find a new job, though, you can expect a lot more videos from me.
Okay, so I just want to do a quick little update in regards to my work situation because a lot has changed in the last couple days. My coworker who tried to stab me twice is now suspended from the store. The managers overheard 2 people I had told about it. Technically one of them was a witness, but the other one I told about it. They overheard them talking about it, and they suspended him from the store. And I was kind of surprised because he's pretty much gotten away with everything else that he's done in the store. He already had like 2 sexual harassment claims against him. He's done like no call, no shows for like a week and still has a job. So I didn't think they would take it seriously because he's already done so many other things, but I guess they did. And since he's kind of crazy, we were all worried about retaliation. And so the person who I told it to, who wasn't a witness, did not want to testify. She ended up doing it, thankfully, but she was worried about retaliation, so she didn't want to. And I was kind of worried about retaliation too. Like, I was worried I was going to go into work my last couple days and like get my car tires slashed. But thankfully that didn't happen, and he doesn't know where I live, so that shouldn't happen, and I don't have to worry about retaliation anymore. I quit on the 10th because I just didn't feel safe working at the store, even with him gone. He's not even allowed to enter the store anymore. But I just don't know that I'd feel safe working there after that, and I'm just kind of done with all the other drama the store has too. So I am officially out of a job now. I'm hoping I can find another one soon, but until then, probably more videos soon.
Anyway, on a non-work related note, the other day I finally found a physical therapist who knows what she's talking about. Turns out my pelvic pain that I was originally told was a back issue is mostly coming from tight pelvic floor muscles, and the back was all just a massive red herring. Yes, I did have a bulged disc, and yes, it contributed to my pain, but the vast majority of it was coming from tight pelvic muscles. That was nice to figure out, but also incredibly frustrating because I thought it was a pelvic floor issue since the beginning. The only reason I had my mind changed is because my first physical therapist here told me my issues were coming from my back, and then when she couldn't fix them, told me I graduated physical therapy and not to come back. After realizing all this, I genuinely hate her now, and hope the worst for her. There's a difference between not knowing how to help someone and leading them on for months, then giving up on them once you realize you can't use them for bragging rights. You. Anyway, I found out in late June or so that my pelvic pain is probably more so caused from wearing my water canteen on one side for years than it was from my back injury. I never thought anything of it before, but while I was talking to the chiropractor, I realized that could be a culprit into why I developed chronic pain. Once I realized that, though, I started wearing an SI joint belt because I became convinced that my inflammation problems were SI joint related since my hips seemed unbalanced from wearing the water canteen all the time. It didn't fix the problem, but it took away 80 to 90% of my pain, and actually moved a lot of my pain backwards, closer to its origin. I've been using it pretty much every day since then, since the pain gets worse if I don't use it, and only taking it off to stretch, shower, bathe, etc. I wasn't sure why it helped so much, but it was nice to finally have something that took away the majority of the pain. I talked to my new physical therapist about it, and apparently it's helping me because it shuts off the pelvic floor muscles, meaning I don't have to use them, and that pressure is distributed elsewhere. It's very much a band-aid fix, and she wants me to stop wearing it as soon as I can because it does not solve my tight muscle problem whatsoever. Instead, I'm supposed to be doing a lot of breathing techniques and light stretches to loosen those muscles and then slowly work to strengthen them. I try to do the stretches / breathing techniques she recommended, but it was very hard to find the time for it while working this job. I'm supposed to stretch a little in the morning, a little at night, and occasionally throughout the day, and I can't manage to fit that in while working 9.5 hours. That's also another reason I'm quitting my job. Apparently this condition takes around 6 months to get over, and I only have 7 months till I return to college. Hopefully it'll take less time than that, as I've already made quite a lot of progress, but we'll see. Okay, with that all out of the way, I still have more life updates, so buckle up. At the end of December, my sister got married. Woohoo. Problem is, she's stuck down here living with my family till the end of the school year since her job is a contracted position. Because of that, she has moved in with her husband to the room right next to mine. That means I have to be even more careful with what I say when I record, because before it was just my younger brother who didn't care that much. My other brother, who's been living away from home for the past 1.5 years, has also recently decided to move home. So we currently have 8 people living in our house. We're all moving out around the same time too, so it'll be interesting. Needless to say, things are going to be chaotic for the next little bit, but it's alright. I'll figure it out, hopefully. Pretty soon, I'll have a lot more time to make videos in spite of all that, and I'm really hoping 2024 can at least be a decent year. I could really use one of those. Please, God. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the life updates. About time, I know. So I'll give a quick rundown of my future plans for the channel. Most of what I said in my last update video still stands, I just need to find the time to make those videos. Aside from making the scrapped one I said I was going to finish, I scrapped it again because I realized I disagreed with a lot of my old opinions expressed in that script, and I'm sick of rereading it. Other than that though, expect a lot less commentary videos. I'll still be making some, but they're going to be spaced out a lot more, and only when I really want to talk about something. I'm also going to be making several short, pointless meme videos as soon as I get back, so hopefully that boosts me in the algorithm somewhat. I'm also considering turning funny clips from my longer videos into shorts, cause it seems like making shorts is the only way to grow on this platform anymore. I'm still undecided, but it's a possibility for the future. Pretty soon, I also plan to gear my content more towards gaming and music related topics as I'm more passionate about that, and I think it'd be fun to make videos about that stuff. The other videos aren't going away, they're just going to be less common. I'm really hoping to upgrade my webcam soon too, since I've had this one for years and the audio quality is kinda... I got used to it when I was uploading more frequently, but I was getting a lot of comments saying my audio quality sucked and I needed to fix it. I kept brushing them off thinking, well, it's not that bad. But after coming back from my 6-month break and only watching other YouTubers in the meantime, I realized it's pretty bad. It's still going to be a few months before I can upgrade, as I'm trying to save everything I can for a little bit until I find a better job. But hopefully soon, videos will be in higher quality with a lot better sound quality. With that all being said, I'm sorry again for disappearing, but unlike all your dads, I actually return with the milk. But no, for real, I hate the fact I haven't been able to upload the past 6 months. I have really missed YouTube, as usual, and I'm frustrated that I keep having to disappear because I either don't have enough time to make videos, or I'm not feeling good enough to make them. Or, in my most recent case, it's a combination of both. I remember a few months ago, I really wanted to make a video on Sniper Wolf and a few more on the Illuminati situation, but I unfortunately never finished those scripts with how busy I was and how overwhelmed I was with work drama and my health issues. It kind of sucked because I was really looking forward to finishing those videos as I felt like I had a lot to say, but I couldn't find the time to work on them, even at my most productive. Being at work for over 9 hours a day really takes your life away, especially when you have other responsibilities outside of work. I don't even know why I've stayed at this job for as long as I have, because it sucked and I'm only earning like $1,500 a month. I was earning just under $1,000 a month being a part-time janitor, and that was a lot less stressful. At least the second year I did it because I had a better boss then. I low-key wish there was still part-time janitor jobs and the schools didn't all sell out for child labor, you know? That would be nice. But yeah, in conclusion, expect more videos soon since I'll be out of the job in the next few days. There will be a few changes in content, but the upload schedule should be a lot better overall. Hopefully my health issues, both mental and physical, will get better soon too, because that will also make videos a lot easier to make. And yeah, I'll see y'all in my next video. Hopefully my mess of a life sorts itself out soon. Bye!